All right, it's a beautiful Sunday evening, day number 9 in the month of November 2025. Good evening, folks, and welcome to Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. Iron Port is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, MPS, and indeed Phoenix Insurance. The show is proudly powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority-GPHA, and our media partner is the Business and Financial Times, the BNFT. Now, if you want to have a grasp of all that transpired on the show tonight, make a date and grab the Thursday edition of the BNFT, and you'll be able to read all that happened here on the show. As usual, we're streaming live on our social media pages. On Facebook, we are streaming live at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Still on Facebook, we are live at Port of Tema. And on YouTube, we are streaming live at Iron Port. Now, you'll be getting interactive with us, and so all you have to do is sit back, relax, grab your phones, and send us your messages and comments ahead via our dedicated WhatsApp line, which is 0538-037353. 0538-037353. And when the time is ripe and I pick signals from the production team, we shall activate the phone lines for you to call in and contribute to the discussion. My name is Kennedy Mona. We're going for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue the show. Please stay with us.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP, Wufilia, huh? Wubefeel. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water. Or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Welcome to today's edition of Serene Insurance Business News. We present to you Serena. You're right. You can complete an entire insurance process for the purchase of any motor and other insurance products, from onboarding to issuing a motor insurance sticker and policy certificate, all on WhatsApp in less than 10 minutes. Serena is simple to use and it prioritizes user ease and flexibility. You can either use voice notes or text to effortlessly issue your instant policy, cross-platform renewals, claims, and also process your payments through mobile money, Visa, and MasterCard. To engage Serena, just search for Serena Insurance on all social media handles and scan the Serena barcode or save her number 0500 517 114 and start chatting her on WhatsApp immediately. There you have it. Serena is not just a tool, it's an innovation by Serene Insurance designed to redefine how motor and travel insurance are accessed and managed. Speed, convenience, and reliability.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect,
you thrive.
At Phoenix Insurance, we make the unpredictable predictable and the uncertain certain with our range of products, including motor insurance, fire insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, accident insurances, and all types of bonds. We have you covered. We also support you with risk management advice to enable you stay focused on your business. Take a policy with Phoenix Insurance today. We help you rise from adversity stronger and more secure. Contact us on 0302 246319 or 0302 246644 or any of our branches, agencies, and brokers spread across the nation. You can as well connect with us on our WhatsApp chatbot. Efiba is waiting to assist you. Make the future predictable with Phoenix Insurance. Phoenix Insurance, a delightful service experience delivered with wisdom.
All right, welcome back. So it's now time for us to take a look at happenings in the port and shipping industry over the last weekend by way of local news. Please enjoy.
The Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center in Teshi last week hosted a 2-day regional conference on advancing women's leadership and inclusion in maritime security and governance in the Gulf of Guinea, held from November 6 to 7, 2025. The event, jointly organized by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime under the Danish Gulf of Guinea Maritime Security Program and the Women in Maritime of West and Central Africa, brought together participants from 14 Gulf of Guinea countries to discuss strategies for strengthening women's role in maritime security and governance. The conference promoted gender equality, peace, and security within the maritime domain by emphasizing the critical role of women in addressing regional challenges such as piracy, human trafficking, illegal fishing, and marine pollution. During the opening ceremony, speakers underscored the commitment of their various institutions and governments to promoting gender inclusivity across all segments of the maritime sector, noting that empowering women in maritime security contributes directly to national and regional stability.
This is not just a matter of fairness, it is a matter of strategy. Diversity in leadership leads to better decision-making, improved risk assessment, and gender organizational adaptability. Women bring a collaborative leadership style and fosters trust, community engagement, and reflect conflict resolution. Qualities essential to addressing maritime security challenges that are deeply rooted in social and economic realities.
By investing in women's leadership and inclusion, we are not merely promoting equality, we are strengthening effectiveness, innovation, and regional resilience.
Women connect with communities in ways that strengthen intelligence and prevent crime before it starts. They prove every day that security is not only about force, but it's also about understanding, patience, and fairness. We share the view that women are not just half of the society. They are its foundation. They are the first educators, the first managers of resources, the first to respond when things go wrong. And when we leave them out of decision about security, we are cutting off our own strength.
The development of a comprehensive gender policy by the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Immigration Service, and Ghana Police Service, which institutionalizes gender responsiveness and supports women professional advancement within the service. This collective achievement reflects Ghana's unwavering commitment to empowering women and protecting their meaningful participation in peace and security processes at all levels.
Since 2016, Denmark has served as a strategic partner to all these coastal states in the region. We partner on capacity building both for the military and for the civil societies, the agencies, and that includes sustainability, regional cooperation, and gender inclusivity in line with the United Security Council Resolution 1325 on women, peace, and security.
The position of the government of Ghana is clear. Addressing these threats requires more than just patrol boats and advanced radar. It demands the meaningful inclusion of women in maritime security decision-making, governance, and enforcement.
Highlights of the two-day conference included sessions on women's leadership in maritime law enforcement, gender-sensitive standard operating procedures, and mentorship frameworks for safe workplaces. Participants also contributed to a regional action plan for gender-inclusive maritime leadership and workplace safety, and paid a courtesy visit to Ghana's Chief of Naval Staff to reaffirm institutional commitment to gender equality in line with UN Security Council Resolution 1325. The event climaxed with a dinner and awards night where the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority and other allied industry stakeholders were honored for their outstanding service in promoting a gender-inclusive culture within the maritime sector. Following the successful pilot of its new mobile application and agents portal, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has organized a 3-day intensive training program for hundreds of freight forwarders and customs house brokers on how to effectively use these digital platforms. The new digital solutions form part of GPHA's broader digital transformation agenda aimed at enhancing operational efficiency, improving transparency, and ensuring a more seamless customer experience. These platforms are designed to make service delivery faster, more convenient, and user-friendly, marking a significant leap toward a fully digitized port ecosystem. The General Manager for Information Technology at GPHA, Francis Donko, explained that as part of the digital rollout, the authority has revamped its mobile app to include more customer-focused features that bring greater comfort and control to port users.
We are training our stakeholders, our customers, on a new solution that we've developed. We've also revamped our payment system as well. That will also allow our customers to be able to make payments online.
He added that the newly introduced agents portal provides clearing agents with real-time access to a range of GPHA services, including the ability to track the movement of their goods, view and download invoices, and validate them directly through the system. This, he noted, will significantly reduce delays and minimize paperwork at the ports.
This agent portal is also able to help the customers to be able to locate, or track their containers, to know where the containers are, what is in transit, or reefer, or golden jubilee, so they can sit, wherever they find themselves, to be able to access all this information.
Francis Donko further underscored the importance of the training, noting that it will equip agents with the technical know-how to leverage these tools in their day-to-day operations, ultimately facilitating smoother business transactions at Ghana's ports.
We expect that they also utilize this solution to be able to ease their life, because look, sometimes when you go to revenue section, you see people coming there just to form a long queue, just make payment. With this solution, they don't need to come there to do that, because the access to invoice is actually handy. You can make payments without coming to our premises and all those things. So we expect them to utilize the solution. We expect them to also spread the news, to the other customers. Their bodies that they have, the ACHAC, the GAVE, and all the stakeholders.
Traditional leaders in the island communities near Dambai in the Uti region have thrown their support behind the Ghana Maritime Authority's push for the strict enforcement of maritime regulations on the Volta and Uti lakes to address incidents of accidents on the lake. This comes on the back of a recent boat accident that claimed 16 lives in Takoradi. According to the Paramount Chief of Chonke Traditional Area, Dasibre Nana Kwame Bunja at Samafoyesi II, the situation requires the needed urgency to help minimize deaths, particularly among young people in the island community. He made the remarks at a meeting held by the board and management of the authority with traditional leaders, boat owners and operators at Dambai. The engagement was necessitated by the growing human cost of poor safety practices on the lake and the need for strict enforcement and compliance. Dasibre Atamaforesi pointed out that While the sad incident saw an intervention by the government, a gesture the community appreciates, it still does not negate the fact that the victims of the disaster were dead and gone. The chairperson of the board of GMA, Jamila Jawula Mahama, in her remarks affirmed the authorities' commitment to ensure strict enforcement and called for the support of traditional leaders and the relevant stakeholders.
Some of the canoes, we get to know that they are old and weak. The wood is almost going bad and there are holes in them. So there's a canoe or a boat and they are fetching, scooping water out of the canoe. We are pleading with them to ensure that they use sea-worthy or river-worthy boats. That one also would reduce the number of accidents.
The Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority, Dr. Kamal Din Ali, Naval Captain retired, said when accidents happen on the lake, the impact is as great as a road accident, hence the GMA's call for community ownership of safe waterways by all.
Making life jackets available at a reasonable cost so that our boat operators can buy them and keep them and use them, especially when they are carrying persons on board their boats. So these are some of the initiatives that we are rolling out. We are more than happy, as I said, to also hear your views as some of the things that we can do so that we can collectively enhance safety in our inland waterways.
The Member of Parliament for Karachi East, Honorable Nelson Kofi Jabab, raised critical concerns regarding safety and basic infrastructure and appealed to the GMA for the provision of speedboats for the naval detachment.
Anytime they are on board the boat, it should be something of great concern because this is about life and death. And you know, water accidents or boat accidents are not as rampant as boat accidents. But as and when they occur, they are more disastrous. The effects are more disastrous than the road accident. So it's in line with this, we are appealing to the people. Fortunately now, we have naval base in Dambai town. Now, their major challenge here is they don't have a speedboat. They at least need a speedboat. So anytime an accident occurred on OT, on Askoko River, on the, the Volta Lake to the extreme southern part, they can rush there immediately to rescue some of the survivors. So these are the areas we are looking at.
All right, welcome back. So those were happenings in the port and shipping industry over the last week. We're now zooming to our discussion proper tonight. And tonight we're taking a look at the GRA, that's the Ghana Revenue Authority's, sustained tax education and modified taxation scheme. Now, if you monitored the news last week, you would have noted or noticed that this particular GRA tax education, sustained tax education and modified taxation scheme was launched by the Commissioner General and indeed some dignitaries from government. And it's been described as a defining step forward for Ghana's tax system. What does that mean? When we're growing up, we heard about, roping in the informal sector and all those things. And we are told that this particular system is perhaps going to simplify, the taxation system in our country to make it very simple for the ordinary Ghanaian to be able to, as it were, comply with his or her tax obligations. And so we deemed it, a duty to assemble a team from the Ghana Revenue Authority to come and, shed more light on this particular launch that took place last week. That's the GRA sustained, tax education and modified taxation scheme. And so with us in the studios tonight, we have Mr. Victor Akogo, who is the Chief Revenue Officer, the Domestic Tax Division Revenue, GRA. Good evening, sir, and welcome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Also with us in the studio, not a stranger to Iron Port, Mr. Opokwefri Asante. He's a Principal Revenue Officer and Technical Lead for the Modified Taxation, Ghana Revenue Authority. Good evening, sir, and welcome once again.
Good evening, Mona. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. All right, so let me begin with Mr. Akogo, and if you tell us the reasoning that went into, the initiative of, launching the sustained tax education and then the modified taxation scheme for the GRA.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kennedy, Mona. It's a privilege and a joy to be part of your team.
Absolutely.
And also to throw light on GRA's sustained tax education.
Right.
You'll come to agree that in the 2025 budget, the minister responsible for finance made it clear that there is the need for a sustained tax education campaign to be made, where there should be an aggressive tax campaign for people to understand the rationale and the reasoning behind the payment of taxes. People don't pay taxes because they see taxation as being complex and find it difficult to understand it. And there is the need for an aggressive campaign to be made for people to understand, taxation, so that it become part and parcel of the culture of the people. You and I, you agree that when you earn income, there is the need to give a portion to government for the development of the state. But Ghanaians are such that any income that comes to their hands will not voluntarily, go declare it before the appropriate authority and pay.
Yes.
But the 1992 Constitution, Article 41J, made it clear that as citizens of Ghana, you are responsible for the development of the state by trying as much as possible to disclose your income that you earn honestly and appropriately before the appropriate authorities and pay the taxes thereof. So Sustained Tax Education Initiative came in with the intention that we want to create the culture of tax compliance among the citizens, so that people will come to understand that anytime an income is earned, be it through employment, business, or investment, voluntarily, tax element within it ought to be paid to the Ghana Revenue Authority. And also to come to understand that if you are earning business income, you cannot pay tax unless you first register with the Ghana Revenue Authority.
Yes.
So registration is a very important aspect of the tax administration process.
Right.
Because the Commissioner General is mandated to have a data of all persons who are contributing towards the tax rate. So when His Excellency, the President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama, came into office, realized that the contribution from the informal sector, the total taxpayers who have registered is less than 1.2 million.
Yes.
And you realize that the informal sector makes about 70% of the working force of the people of Ghana. And their contribution to tax GDP, is around almost getting to 30%. But their contribution to tax net is less than 5%.
Yes.
So with these statistics, there is the need for an aggressive education of the people of Ghana.
Yes.
That to be able to move Ghana to the next level, there is the need for an aggressive tax education, and therefore the reason behind the sustained tax education, which was launched in Movenpick the Wednesday, 5th of November.
Right.
Thank you very much.
So it is safe to say that this particular initiative is aimed at enhancing the participation of the informal sector in the tax system of our country.
Very true. We are enhancing that participation. We are including everybody. That as citizens of Ghana, we are responsible for the development of our country.
Yes.
And therefore, any income, and there is the need to make a contribution towards the development of the state. That will go a long way to provide good drinking water, go a long way to provide good road infrastructure development, improve our education system, and provide security network for the protection of the people of Ghana.
Right. You mentioned in your earlier submission that it's also supposed to help promote the culture of, compliance, tax compliance, as it were. Do you have an idea what the situation is like in terms of compliance?
Yes. When it comes to tax compliance, Ghanaians or people of Ghana don't voluntarily, comply with tax. For example, when it comes to compliance, we want every citizen to understand the reason behind the tax laws. And the tax laws that guides us includes the Income Tax Act that empowers Ghana Revenue Authority to charge tax on the income that you earn or effort you put in to earn income. You pay a portion of it towards the development of the state, and that is called the income tax. That is a direct tax.
Right.
When it comes to indirect tax, as you consume more in the country, you ought to pay VAT, which is an indirect tax, which is part of the price that you pay for the goods and services that you consume.
Right.
But you come to realize that statistics showing that our contribution to the indirect tax, revenue mobilization, is not so significant to go home with. So there is the need for us all to be able to insist on our VAT invoices whenever we buy goods and services. So as citizens of Ghana, to promote tax compliance, we ought to insist that we have our VAT invoice whenever goods and services are bought from any spot or any point in time or any point where the person is registered with VAT and ought to pay VAT.
Right.
So we have the direct tax and the indirect tax, and we want the compliance level to increase so that we can be able to make our revenue targets.
Right.
Thank you.
Let me come to Mr. Freya Asante and find out from you. During the launch, the Commissioner General, Mr. Anthony Akwesi Sapong, was explicit when he stated that the launch is a defining step forward in Ghana's tax system. What is it that makes these initiatives, significant?
Right. So, Mona, you would notice over the period that the GRA has been engaging the media and then other stakeholders, particularly when it comes to rolling out an initiative. So until we roll out an initiative, you wouldn't see GRA in the limelight.
Right.
So this defining moment is to change that narrative, that strategy, that we are always being episodic. We wait for an initiative to be rolled out before we come and then engage the public. So this time around, a 3-year target of this sustained tax education campaign is to always engage stakeholders. So now we are knocking at your door. We are engaging trade associations. We are going to engage the universities and a lot more stakeholders. So, and then we also intend to use traditional media and then social media, right? You would agree that quite a number of people have now moved to social media.
I will come into that. I'll be coming to that.
So you can think of the TikToks and all. So GRA is present on TikTok. GRA is present on Snap. GRA is present on Instagram. And all these evolving medias that have come. So the defining moment for us is that over the next 3 years, we are not going to wait for any initiative to come up. We are just going to drum the understanding or the obligation of why you ought to pay your taxes to people. I think what we've also noticed at the GRA is that most often than not, people do not, it is not that they do not want to pay taxes, they do not understand the mechanics. So how do you pay? How do you go about it? What am I even supposed to be registered for? Those basic information people do not have knowledge of. So the whole concept of this sustained tax education is to make people understand what taxes they are required to pay, when they are supposed to pay, and then how they can go about to pay them. So these are some of the defining things that the Commissioner General has put together for us to roll out the sustained tax education.
All right, so I said I was going to come to online. Since you mentioned that, there's this call for people that do business online to be taxed. I don't know how far you've gone with that particular thing, because I, for instance, most of the time I buy online. I go on Facebook, I see something, I place the order, it comes, I pay. And the fellow is in good business.
Yes.
Now, this is somebody that probably is not paying taxes. How are you able to exact the due tax from such a person?
Very well. So the good thing is that...
Who runs an effective and efficient campaign on social media and earns a good deal of money.
Right. So you would be... obviously, GRA staff are also citizens of Ghana. So we also have services, or we engage in services similar to what you've just mentioned.
Yes.
So your experience would not be different from what I would also experience, because I can order food online, I can buy anything from Facebook or Instagram. So this is a general problem. But how do we solve the problem in a global manner and not just target one or two people, right? So the Commissioner General recently has also launched the e-commerce taxation platform, where the GRA now will put in a system that will be scanning online platforms, so online marketplaces. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, those doing business online, and also get them registered. So it is not just about finding them and then sanctioning them, no. It is about letting them understand their tax obligation. That's why we've rolled out the sustained tax education. So that's the whole concept. The other way that we are also approaching this is through electronic payments. Now, you'd realize that some would do delivery and then pay cash, and then some would also prefer to pay using Momo and whatever. So as soon as you make payments using Momo, the GRA would be looking at transactions that are likely to be VAT related, so that we can identify who the merchant is that you were doing the business with, and then get that person or draw that person's attention that, are you already registered for VAT? That is, if they have met the VAT qualification, right? And then, so these are some of the things that the GRA has kickstarted. Hopefully by next year, we will be talking more about this e-commerce initiative.
Right. Awesome. So I want us to dwell a little much longer on the sustained tax education program. And you've run several other campaigns in the past. And I asked you, what was it that made this particular one, special or significant? How different is this?
Yes. So as I mentioned, over the periods, or over the years, we've been more of episodic. But now, we want to approach things differently.
Right.
We want everyone to understand their tax obligations. So right from you completing the university, you finding a job, you being gainfully employed, you would have understood what taxation is, the basics. So this is the approach that we believe will change the game. Rather than waiting for someone to get job or start a business before we engage them, we want that communication of why you ought to pay taxes, what taxes you ought to pay, and how to pay it, to be a basic need for everyone. So that we believe that with that, voluntarily, people can now pay or comply with their tax obligations.
Let me come to Mr. Akogo. He mentioned that the sustained tax education program is going to run for 3 years. Can you outline some of the phases? What is captured in the various phases? Phases 1, 2, and 3 for the 3 years.
Okay, thank you very much. So for the first year, we started with the launch of the sustained tax education, and we're going to do a lot of media engagement, where we're going to tell the general public or create the awareness that the taxpayers ought to first fulfill their tax obligation and also be able to understand their rights. So as a taxpayer, you are not only under an obligation to pay your tax, but also have some rights under your disposal. So the first year, or from now to the end of the year, we're going to make that aggressive awareness creation that every income earner or every consumer who is a taxpayer, one must be aware of his tax obligations.
Right.
Okay, and the obligations include one, the registration. If you are doing business, you ought to register. And two, you have to make a declaration of your income. And the declaration is what we are calling return filing on due date, so that you avoid the payment of penalties and interest. If you don't pay your taxes on due date, you are surcharged to pay an interest. We want to create this awareness from now to end of December, so that people will understand the need to pay their taxes. From the second year, which is from 2026 to 2027, we are going into collaboration with professional bodies and also government agencies to be able to educate them to understand that any government contract that is given out, one, the government institution must inspect tax clearance certificate as a pre-requirement for the award of government contract.
Right.
And number two, when payments are being made, there is the need for withholding taxes also to be made.
Yes.
Because the culture of tax payment has not gone deep within the fabrics of Ghanaians, there is the need for us to introduce withholding taxes.
Absolutely.
So that when payments are made for goods and services, 3% is withheld for goods and 7.5% is withheld for services.
Right.
So we are going to do that collaboration with the professional bodies and with also state agencies. We are also going into, private sector participation, so that where we're going to identify the identifiable groups and the trade unions and go to them and educate them extensively to be able to appreciate the need for their members to contribute towards the tax net.
Right.
So we have a 3-year program, and it's all basically boils down to awareness creation. But here, in the next year, we are doing a lot of collaboration and partnership with state agencies and also professional bodies and identifiable groups. So basically, these are the measures that we have put in place. The 3rd year is also about deepening the compliance.
Yeah.
And we are also going to engage the civil society organizations.
Absolutely.
And traditional, leaders, the Queen Mothers and Assemblymen, they are all going to help us in deepening the education among taxpayers, so that voluntarily we come to understand that any income that you receive, be it from employment income, be it from, gift, be it from disposal of asset, which is a capital gain, tax ought to be paid on it. And even to the extent that even if you rent out a property, which is you are using for commercial purposes, you need to pay rent tax on it. So we're going to do collaboration with the media and also state agencies and partners, so that we deepen this awareness among the taxpayers.
Do we still have this issue of under-declaration, in the system? Mr. Priya Sante.
Yes. So when it comes to under-declaration, it is a process that...
Is it still there?
It is something that will always be prevalent,
Right.
regardless of we being in Ghana.
Yeah.
It is something that is global, right? So as a business, there may be certain areas that may be gray, for which reason you might not be able to declare the correct or the right taxes. So
Right.
it is something that is global, that every tax authority is trying as much as possible to have it kept.
Absolutely. All right. So in your in this particular campaign, you will be reaching out to various interest groups across the country. We're talking about small, medium enterprises. We're talking about market and traders. We're talking about students and a whole lot of others. You mentioned earlier that you were targeting the universities and all that. How are you going to be able to reach all these groups?
Yeah, so you would realize that for some of the groups that you've mentioned, for example, identifiable groups or trade associations, they have members.
Right.
So if you're able to engage the leadership, some way, somehow, you've been able to engage the members,
Yes.
right? So for example, we have the Association of Small Scale Industries. They have over 2 million members in that group. So
Right.
if you're able to engage such an association, that means you have access to 2 million citizens who are doing business. Similarly, we have the GUTA You have the Market Queen Association. You have hairdressers and beauticians associations. So the idea is that if you're able to engage the leadership of all these associations, the communication would have trickled down to the members for them to know the tax obligation. So that is the strategy and the approach that we intend to go. That's how we intend to go about it.
All right, and we'll talk about the role of the media, civil society he mentioned, and community leaders. What role do they have to play to ensure, the success of this sustained campaign?
Right, so GRA can never really achieve its objective of voluntary, communicating voluntary compliance to the general public without the media, right? So, as I mentioned earlier, traditional media, whether it's radio or TV, these are key outlets that we can use to reach out to everyone. So as part of communicating or achieving this target, we've started with you. I believe your viewers are listening in and then understanding some of these things. So this is a start. As Victor mentioned, the GRA actually wants to be aggressive. So we'll be going, it's a nationwide campaign across all radio stations, all TV stations, to communicate these tax obligations to the citizen.
Awesome. I know some time ago you used to place, or as it were, position some of your staff at the various companies and shops. I know Malcolm, and all the other places. You used to have some of your staff there. Are they still there, or have you recalled them?
Yes. I think Victor has been participating in that. So.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so it's part of compliance measure.
Right.
VAT especially is an amount of money that you have added to the pricing of your item.
Right.
So as you sell the item, there is a VAT element on it. So GRA, in attempt to promote compliance, send some of their staff to the premises of these taxpayers to be able to authenticate and verify that the taxpayers or the taxable person who are the traders, who are responsible for the selling of their goods, issue the Commissioner General's invoice, the certified invoice of the Commissioner General. You see, it may happen that you may go to a shop and that shop owner might not issue the certified Commissioner General invoice or attempt to issue his own invoice. So GRA, in its own wisdom of promoting compliance, try to send people to the shop of those taxpayers. And those we do by, first of all, sending some people there to test and purchase the item to see whether the person will issue Commissioner General invoice to you. If you identify that that person is not issuing the certified Commissioner General invoice, then we place a GRA officer in the premises of the taxpayer to monitor the issuance of the certified invoicing system. But if you are voluntarily issuing Commissioner General invoice, then we don't need to position anybody in your premises, but to allow you to do the right thing. We monitor you, especially when your VAT returns that you are filing is dwindling. So as it goes down, there is the need for us to keep an eye on you. If you file a return, for example, 20 million, and the following month you file 10 million, then there is
raises eyebrows.
There is a gap. So there is a need to find out, are people not patronizing your goods or services? We want to know. Because the sales that you are making, GRA has an interest in that sale because of the VAT element. So we also want to monitor. So it is not about witch hunting anybody, but we have an interest in the sales that we are making. Government is the unseen guest and president of every business that transpired within the country.
Did that particular initiative yield any good results?
Yes, it yields good results, but people are not comfortable with that.
They will not be sure.
They are not comfortable with that, but it is part of our compliance.
I think you
measures.
should continue.
We have to continue. We have series of compliance measures. For example, we have what we call Operation Dragnet. Operation Dragnet is one of our compliance tools where we use to identify taxpayers who are doing business but have not registered.
Right.
We demarcate a certain geographical area and move shop by shop to identify those who are in our register and those who are not in our register. We also have the test pitches.
Right.
Test pitches will disguise some people, then they go buy from a particular shop to see whether they will issue Commissioner General invoice or not. If they don't issue, we accept your own invoice and make a police who is behind us go to confront you that you ought to do the right thing.
Right.
Then we also have invoice invigilation. The invoice invigilation is where we position an officer of GRA in the premises of the taxpayer to ensure that the right thing is done. Penalties are also imposed for non-filing of returns on due date, and interests are imposed for not payment of taxes on due date. So these are some of the compliance measures that we have in place. And it is about using the carrot and the stick approach.
Yeah.
So these are the carrot approaches that we are using. But the stick approach is the enforcement aspect.
Right.
If, for example, you have collected GRA's, revenue in respect of VAT, and you have not filed return for it for some time, GRA will come after you by the use of enforcement measures, which might include a seal-off of your premises or a garnishment of your account. So these are the carrot and the stick approach that the GRA uses in administering the taxes.
And I hope the men and women that you deploy to these entities are men and women of integrity.
Yes.
Right.
GRA, we are men and women of integrity. For now, I can say that we start to do what is right and we move forward in the right direction. Thank you.
Absolutely. Great. Awesome. So let me come to Mr. Friye Asante, and we're now zooming into the modified taxation scheme. And I just want to find out from you how this new system will simplify tax processes, especially for small and medium enterprises.
Right. So the modified taxation scheme is a policy just to help and make your fulfilling your tax obligation very seamless. So you have the filing obligation and then you have the tax payment obligation.
Right.
But more so, there are certain criteria that one needs to fulfill before they can be registered under modified taxation. So for example, you need to be a resident individual. So if you are a non-resident, you do not qualify to be registered under the modified taxation.
Yes.
You also, your income must be solely sourced from business. So you must be earning income from business before you can register.
Yes.
So for example, you have the barbers, market women, they are doing business, right? But now, how can we make it very simple for them to comply? That is why we have a system in place. So the system has been put there to enable them register,
yes,
and then file and then pay.
Yes.
So I think we'll take you through how that will be able, how we can actually do that in terms of the registration and then the payments.
Right.
But the concept is that you need to be a resident individual here, and then you need to earn income solely from business, exclusively from business here. And then you shouldn't also be registered for VAT.
Right.
So if you're an existing taxpayer, you are doing business, you're already registered with the GRA for purposes of accounting for VAT, you do not qualify to be registered for modified taxation.
Right.
And so these are some of the things that people need to be aware of when it comes to registration for purposes of modified taxation.
Right. Okay, so the Commissioner General talked about 3% flat rate for businesses earning up to 500,000 Ghana cedis. Tell us about it.
Right. So when it comes to modified taxation, there are three categories. So we have what we call presumptive tax based on installment. So these are people whose turnover or income in a year is not more than 20,000. So let's say you are a cocoa seller, your turnover, your sales for the entire year is not more than 20,000, then you qualify to be registered under the first category, which we call presumptive tax based on installments. Then we have those who turnover are between or above 20,000, but not more than 500,000.
Yes.
So you're a barber, you have a lot of people trooping in, your turnover, your sales is maybe 200,000. So for such a person, the Commissioner General says that pay 3% of that amount to the GRA.
Right.
So long as it is above 20,000 and not exceeding 500,000 Ghana cedis, pay 3%. So then you fall within that category, and then irrespective of the amount, so long as it is within that threshold, and you have to pay 3%. And then the system caters for that, so that you do not have to do the computation yourself. The system caters for that. Once you are registered, and then we know your turnover, automatically the system will bill you, and then you can then proceed to make that payment. Okay, so that's in terms of technology, how to pay via a new app that you'll be operating. Right. Awesome. That's what I was going to ask. So, if you can walk us through again this issue of paying via a new app that I believe you have developed. If you can walk us through again. Right. So first of all, you need to be registered. And how do you get registered? Yes. Just go to Google, the Play Store or the App Store, the iOS App Store, and download MTS Taxpayers app. That's it? Yes. On the screen showing. So the MTS Taxpayers app. Yes. Once you download it, you can then go through the registration. What you need is your Ghana card PIN. Right. So you just look on your Ghana card, you find where the PIN is, which as a Ghanaian would usually begin with a GHA. Yes. So you type in that, and then you'll be able to go through the registration process. You need your phone number. Right. And then also that we can authenticate that you are indeed the same person, and then you provide us with your GPS and some basic information, and that you can then proceed to complete the registration. Now, when you're done with the registration, the bill will now be generated. So if your turnover or your income is between 20,000 and 500,000, 3% will be applied, and then using the same app, you can just go to where the payment is. You can pay using Momo. So whether MTN Mobile Money or Telecel or Airtel, you select your preferred payment method, and then automatically you can make payment. The good thing is that payments can be done anytime and anywhere. Right. So whether you are in Ghana now or you've traveled, you are supposed to pay by the 15th of the beginning of every quarter. Yes. So by 15th January, you are supposed to pay. Anywhere you are, you can just pick up the mobile app and then proceed to make payments. Yeah. You don't have to even pay everything if you do not have that money readily with you. You can proceed to pay monthly, however you wish to make that payment. Yes. So payments can be done on the app. Similarly, you can also dial the short code, *880#. Yeah. And then you select MTS, and then you follow the prompt to make payment using the mobile money. Great. Okay, so you mentioned earlier, Mr. Akogo, the fact that, yes, we have 70% of jobs being in the informal sector, yet we have a scanty amount of people from this particular group paying taxes, and we have only 1.2 million people registered as taxpayers in Ghana, if I got you right in your LS submission. Now, how is this new app, so I beg your pardon, new scheme going to help, make it less complex for them and to enhance or to engender their compliance?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mona. We mentioned earlier that the modified taxation scheme is a simplified, convenient and easy method used in assessing taxpayers. Yes. Hitherto, before you pay your tax, you need to go to the tax office and go through an interview, then go through submission of your documents. But with the modified taxation scheme, it is an online self-service scheme that we have brought. When you download it from the Google Play Store, especially self-registration, self-service app that we have, you are going to provide your Ghana card. And if you provide your Ghana card and your sales information, you get registered. Yeah. Your records come into the database of the Ghana Revenue Authority. Then you proceed to make payment of taxes. So with this system, you don't need to go to the GRA office for registration, completing registration process. You can download the system yourself, or you can ask someone to help you.
Yeah.
Self-service. People say that they are not aware of they registering before making payment.
Yes.
So as a compliance measure, we are creating the awareness that a system has been brought. Go download that system, then register and declare your sales information. Daily sales, how much do you make a sales a day?
Yeah.
If it's 1,000 Ghana cedis or 500 Ghana cedis, you state it. Then 1,000 Ghana cedis, a week will be like 7,000 Ghana cedis. So in a year, 7,000 Ghana cedis times the 52 weeks, that makes a year. We estimate, or the system estimates the tax that you have to pay.
Right.
Divided the tax you have to pay into 4 equal installments. Then every quarter you pay an installment of that.
Right.
This is a self-service mechanism or approach we've given to you. If you cannot use this system, we have also an app for the field agents or compliance agents. They go to the field, identify that you have not registered. Then they assist you to register. Then you proceed to make payment of your taxes. We also have this system available for the trade associations, like the Guta, like the hairdressers, the barbers association. So the association can also register members in bulk, capture the names of their members with their Ghana card details, and also register them. People say they can't pay their tax because they are not aware, they don't know how to go about it. Our duty as GRA is to make availability these systems to you.
Right.
And if you fail to register or seek assistance, then we'll come in now to find out where your challenges are. Then we assist you. But if you realize that it is deliberate and deliberate refusal not to register and pay your taxes whilst you are a citizen of Ghana, then they will trigger the enforcement aspect to compel you to register and now pay your taxes. So basically, it is a compliance, it's a carrot approach, and we are trying to encourage as many people to go have access to the Google Play Store, download the app, and now register. Because Commissioner General must have visibility of all those who are doing business in Ghana.
Right.
The business you are doing, remember, you are using the road network that has been constructed using other people's tax.
Exactly.
And also, you also know that security, policemen are giving you protection. Their salaries ought to be paid from these taxes that we accumulate. You go to hospitals, medical facilities are brought because of these taxes. So please, it is our collective responsibility to find out how we can contribute towards the development of our country than always expecting government to meet us halfway or meet our needs for us. So it is a win-win situation. What can you also do to help your country than government always providing essential services for you? Thank you.
Right. Do we have a situation in Ghana where maybe some people just come up and pay tax upfront? Or it's just at best what we get is paying right on time?
Yes. So you cannot just wake up one day and then decide to pay tax. We need to know what taxes you are paying for. And then whether you even qualify to be registered for that tax. So for example, I'm an individual. I'm gainfully employed. I cannot wake up one day and say that I'm going to pay corporate income tax when I am not obviously a company. So usually, Victor mentioned that when you go to the GRA office, you'll be interviewed, and the outcome of the interview will determine what taxes you'll be registered for. Then you can proceed to pay. But yes, you can pay on behalf of someone, which is allowed.
Right.
But more importantly, I wanted to also add to what Victor mentioned towards what you, even though the GRA has rolled out this initiative, what would drive people to want to actually register and then pay? So, number one, tax clearance certificate. Right. So those who operate in the informal sector, whether you're a barber, you're a hairdresser, maybe you want to travel. And then as part of the requirement, you are required to submit your tax clearance certificate. That indicate to the consulate or the embassy that you are in good standing with the tax authority. So once you enroll on the MTS app, you can generate a tax clearance certificate.
Right.
And so that's something that the GRA has made available through this app as well.
Right.
The other thing that we are currently also considering is the fact that people in the informal sector find it difficult to also pay their contribution when it comes to SNET.
Yeah.
Right? Because they are not employees, it becomes very difficult to deduct at the end of the month. But we are considering this option where a portion or a percentage of the tax that they pay can go into their pension.
Right.
So that at the end of their tenure, they can then draw from these pension and also have a very good life after they are not or they are no longer active.
Right.
So these are some of the conversations the GRA is having with the National Pensions Regulations Authority and the Ministry of Finance to roll out this policy that for every tax you pay under the modified taxation scheme in the informal sector, a portion will be then put aside for your pension. So these are some of the things that we will be communicating around to get people to want to register.
Apply.
Yes.
Okay, so this is our report here on Metro TV, and tonight we're taking a look at the Ghana Revenue Authority's sustained tax education and indeed the modified taxation scheme. With us in the studios, Mr. Victor Akogo, who is Chief Revenue Officer with the Domestic Tax Division, Domestic Tax Revenue Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority. And also in the studios with us is Mr. Opoku-Efri Asante, who is the Principal Revenue Officer and Technical Lead for the modified taxation at the Ghana Revenue Authority. We're going for a quick break. When we return, we shall activate the phone line for you to call in and ask them the questions that bothers you. And we also share your messages with the rest of the world. Please stay with us.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP, Wufilia, huh? Wubefi. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water. Or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Welcome to today's edition of Serene Insurance Business News. We present to you Serena. You're right. You can complete an entire insurance process for the purchase of any motor and other insurance products, from onboarding to issuing a motor insurance sticker and policy certificate, all on WhatsApp in less than 10 minutes. Serena is simple to use and it prioritizes user ease and flexibility. You can either use voice notes or text to effortlessly issue your instant policy, cross-platform renewals, claims, and also process your payments through mobile money, Visa, and MasterCard. To engage Serena, just search for Serena Insurance on all social media handles and scan the Serena barcode or save her number 0500 517 114 and start chatting her on WhatsApp immediately. There you have it. Serena is not just a tool, it's an innovation by Serene Insurance designed to redefine how motor and travel insurance are accessed and managed. Speed, convenience, and reliability.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
At Phoenix Insurance, we make the unpredictable predictable and the uncertain certain with our range of products, including motor insurance, fire insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, accident insurances, and all types of bonds. We have you covered. We also support you with risk management advice to enable you stay focused on your business. Take a policy with Phoenix Insurance today. We help you rise from adversity stronger and more secure. Contact us on 0302 246319 or 0302 246644 or any of our branches, agencies, and brokers spread across the nation. You can also connect with us on our WhatsApp chatbot. Efiba is waiting to assist you. Make the future predictable with Phoenix Insurance. Phoenix Insurance, a delightful service experience delivered with wisdom.
All right, welcome back. This is Iron Port here on Metro TV, and tonight we're taking a look at the Ghana Regional Authority's sustained tax education and modified taxation scheme. These were two initiatives that were launched last week, and we're taking a look at what they portend for the tax system of our country. Like I said, the Commissioner General of the Ghana Regional Authority, that's Mr. Anthony Akwesi Sapong, has described it as defining, step forward in Ghana's tax system. And you had a lucid presentation by the two gentlemen in the studios, Mr. Victor Akogo, who is the Chief Revenue Officer, Domestic Tax Revenue Division, and indeed Mr. Opokwe Priya Asante, who is the Principal Revenue Officer and Technical Lead for Modified Taxation, Ghana Regional Authority, doing the discussion with us. You can call in now. The number is right here on your screen, 0245-834980, 0245-834980. You can call and contribute to the discussion. I'll be sharing your messages pretty shortly with the rest of the world. But it does appear very ambitious. 2 million taxpayers in 3 years. How can you achieve that?
Yes, so it may sound ambitious, but as we indicated earlier, it's all about the strategy.
Right.
So we have been able to engage certain trade associations, and then we noticed that they have members in 100,000, 200,000. Yeah. So hitherto, GRA would have conducted what we call the Operation Dragnet that Victor mentioned, would go out into the field and then be finding them. But this may not be sustainable, looking at the targets that we are looking at.
Right.
So rather than going that route, why not engage these traded associations and identifiable groups who have the numbers?
Trade associations and identifiable groups.
And identifiable groups who have the numbers.
Let's go on to the lines and welcome my good friend, I understand it's Gambo from La Paz.
Engage these trade associations and identify.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Samuel. I'm calling to ask. So, if you are a sole proprietor, right, and then you are also an employee of a company, so technically you are paying the taxes on your salary.
Yes.
And then you're also a sole proprietor, so you're using the same TIN number for your salary and then for your private business. How do you pay the tax on your private business and then also check that for the salary end? I mean, if you want tax clearance on your salary or you want to file for returns on your salary taxes, how do you do that?
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Samuel.
Thank you.
Who would take that?
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to take that. It's a good question he has asked.
Yes.
But the question is that per the Income Tax Act, if you earn employment income and you earn business income, the law says that you should aggregate all your incomes together.
Right.
Because you have one tax identification number, there is the need to use that one identification number to be able to, aggregate your income and pay one tax. So basically, that is the process.
Right.
But you can still use the same tax identification income to pay the tax that relates to the business.
Right.
And all will be credited to your ledger, which is now with the Ghana Revenue Authority.
Right.
A combination of your employment income and your business income. Here, you will not come under the modified taxation scheme.
Right.
Because you are earning both employment income and business income.
Right. Okay. So let's go on to the line. You wanted to add something to that?
Oh, yeah, I think it's said and done. But then just to a quick one. So as an employee, your employers would have already deducted the PAYE element of it.
Yes.
So what would be left, or what would be outstanding, will be your business income,
Right.
which you can then pay in addition when you are filing, or after you have filed your return.
Right.
That's what will be left for you to pay.
Let's go to Kaswa and welcome a caller. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Awesome. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so I heard Mr. Poku mention that they are considering enrolling the new taxpayers to SNIT, or they are going to add some pension distinct to it. I think that is totally out of place because it's not part of their core duty, and that is a deception. I think you need to come very clear. Tell the truth. You don't need to be unethical to collect revenue. You need to tell the truth because you will never do it. So why then do you deceive people to sign on to the app whilst you know very well it will never happen and it is not conclusive? There's no way you have a portion of a tax to pay for a pension for a taxpayer. Your laws and even the acts they work with don't permit that. So tell us the truth. And
Okay,
then
I think they'll give you a response, but to say they are deceiving the public, I think that's in bad taste.
Yes, so I'll respond, and then Victor would also come in.
Yes, please.
So what I did mention was that GRA is considering, right? So when GRA considers an option that will entice people to pay their taxes, what that means is that we are revising the laws.
Yes.
So what will potentially happen is that currently we've engaged the Ministry of Finance, we've engaged the NPRA, and then we are revising, we are looking at the laws, which sections in the law would require amendments to enable the GRA. So once that is done and then it passes through Parliament and then it becomes law, then we can implement. So it's the consideration part that maybe he did not get clear.
Right.
Thank you very much. To add to that, you see, we had the privilege of traveling to other jurisdictions.
Yes.
And we realized that for small businesses, reward systems put in place motivates them to come register.
Yeah.
So it is also part of the reward system that was undertaken in other jurisdictions.
Right.
And we felt it's a good way of, encouraging taxpayers in the informal sector.
Yeah.
As you do business and go elderly, you are not active again, and for that matter, you will want a pension to be provided for you.
Yes.
And this is a policy done in other jurisdictions, and we introduced it here and sold the idea to our commissioners, and they bought into it, and we are considering. It's on paper stage, at the policy stage, and it's being considered.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go to Dodowa and welcome Emmanuel onto the show. Good evening, sir.
Emmanuel Okanse. My name is Emmanuel Okanse.
Yes, sir.
Right, the GRA must be true to be paid because the taxes are very, 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 very bad. Everybody must pay the taxes because the taxes is going to make the road and other things all infrastructure. So the taxes must be all recorded.
Right.
Please, the money must be done so that we can try to do the road and other things, all infrastructure, please. So, please, my name is Emmanuel Okanse, please.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you. Right. Yes.
To respond to Emmanuel Kansi's, message, we want to thank you very much. Taxes is based on fairness. If one person pays tax and the other person does not pay, it brings unfairness into the system. And because of His Excellency the President's agenda for big push initiative that he has put in place, you will see that there is the need for everybody to contribute his bit towards the development of the country. Little drop of taxes makes a mighty nation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Indeed, we're talking about transparency here, and we just want to find out from you, because the Commissioner General mentioned that taxes are the lifeblood of national development. And so we want to find out how the public can be assured that their taxes are being used transparently and indeed efficiently. But I understand we have another caller on the line. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Absolutely. Please go ahead, Mr. Kwe.
Yeah, mine is just a suggestion.
Right.
You see, these our artisans. When they work for you, they charge and then they collect the money without paying any, without contributing any tax. So I may suggest, if the government will somehow make a law that anyone who works for, let's say the artisans, when they come to work and want to pay them, you should do the payment in Momo so that they can be able to deduct something from their money too. Right now, people are charging 250 a day as a mason, and they don't contribute anything to the tax rate.
Right. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Kwe. Thank you. Yes.
Yes, I want to respond to the issue you mentioned first, that taxes are the lifeblood of every nation. Yes, it is true. Without taxes, the country will become anemic, and we'll be running with cap in hand, going around begging for funds. But if you all contribute towards the tax net, it makes sure, it ensures that every little contribution goes a long way to develop the country. GRA, as a way of becoming transparent, always makes a 360 view of the taxes collected and how it is being used available. If you, for example, take the the Rich Hospital, our tax money built it. If you take the medical hospital of the University of Ghana, our tax money built it. There are a lot of activities that our tax monies have built that we are making it available for people to see that their taxes are working for them. And because of that, we believe that indeed, if we all put our hands together and contribute towards the tax rate, Ghana will win itself from this IMF initiative, and the huge interests that we pay will now remain in the country for the development of this country. The big push agenda, it is a priority, and it's a visibility to show that our taxes are going to work for us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Great. All right, so let me go onto the line and welcome Artu, who is calling us from Accra. Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Awesome.
Yes, I want to contribute into this, but this I'm sharing is a vital information to help the GRA.
Right.
So I'm privy to some organizations who have actually deliberately decided to evade taxes. Most of them work with experts, and then they deliberately have decided that they will help their experts not to pay taxes. So instead of paying them through the normal salary, through banks and stuff, they do what we call the tabletop.
Tabletop.
Yes, and I've been trying to find a way where I can make this complaint to the GRA, but the honest truth is that these guys are connected. So some of them, it's alleged that are having some GRA officers helping them out in covering up some of these taxes that they ought to pay to the government. So I want to ask the man if maybe after the presentation,
you can get his contact.
I will get a contact and then resource them with some of.
Absolutely, absolutely. My producers will talk to you behind the scenes and then take your number, and then we can link up. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Artu. All right, so Atu is giving you some information that you
Atu's information is a very good information because tax evasion is a criminal offense. If anyone works within the jurisdiction of Ghana and earns income and deliberately refuse to pay the tax, it's a criminal offense.
Absolutely.
GRA has instituted an informant award scheme where anybody who brings information about tax evasion and helps GRA to recover the amount, the interest and the penalties associated with the amount, a portion is paid to that person. And it's a good business people are doing. And I want to encourage him.
So Atu is on his way to becoming a millionaire.
So if you are doing business and you are evading tax, please, if you have any information like that, share it with GRA. Informant awards await you, and Ghana will be able to appreciate you better.
Absolutely. Okay, yes, so I want you to conclude the submission you were making first. Before the call started coming through, if you remember. You were responding to I think that was the very first caller or something, where you were assembling, some of the companies and all that. But in the meantime, I think that I understand we have another caller on the line. Yes. Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Awesome.
This is an important topic.
Thank you, sir.
For the ordinary Ghanaian, when they see people embezzling money here and there, that's why it pushes them off. The ordinary Ghanaian would like to pay tax, but when we hear all these things, on radio and on TV, it pushes us off.
Right.
The saying goes, when a father can come and buy omukudi.
Yeah.
So please, that's the more reason why the ordinary one will not pay.
Right.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Okay, so this one says, good evening. My name is Berima Nana Kojo Denchembo. I'm a Ghanaian but work for a company based in the United States of America. I would like to know if I'm supposed to pay my taxes in Ghana. Please. Yes, so who's responding to Nana Denchembo?
Okay, thank you very much. You see, as a Ghanaian, you are responsible for the development of your state. So Ghana Income Tax is Act 2015 at 896. It's premised on worldwide taxation scheme. What it means is that if you're a Ghanaian and you are working outside the country, any income that you earn, you need to pay tax in Ghana. Okay, so as a Ghanaian, any income elsewhere, you have to pay tax in Ghana. If in UK, you have paid tax over there, then Ghana and UK, if there is a double taxation agreement, then Ghana will be able to relieve you of the taxes that you paid in UK. The remaining is what you have to pay to your home country. We are responsible for the development of our country. And therefore, as a Ghanaian, any income that you earn, be it offshore, outside the country, you need to ensure that a portion comes to develop your country through the taxes that you pay.
Right. Thank you very much. Let's do some more messages. And what does this one say? It says, Abebio Kusi appear in Kumasi. He says, good evening. Iron Port, please, if I run a small provisions shop and make around 300,000 cedis a year, with this new 3% flat tax rate, does it mean I'll pay only 3% of that amount for the whole year, or will there still be other deductions?
Excellent. So if you earn 300,000 Ghana cedi a year, per the modified taxation scheme, you fall under the turnover tax.
Right.
And therefore, you pay 3% of that 300,000 as tax for the year. You find 3% of the 300,000 and pay it in 4 equal installments.
Right.
And that is good. No long talk, no long things.
Right.
Go and bring your father, go and bring your mother.
Okay.
No.
All right, Pozo is a taxi driver in Tema. Pozo is a taxi driver in Tema. He says, this modified tax sounds good, but how will it affect self-employed people like drivers who don't have fixed income every month? Is there a flexible way for us to pay based on what we earn?
Yeah, so you would have to aggregate the income for the year to enable us to establish what your turnover is. And based on the amount, if it's above 20,000 and below 500,000, then you pay a percentage.
Right.
However, separately from the individual who earns income is the mode in which you are earning income. That's the vehicle.
Yeah.
So there's also vehicle income tax. Depending on the type of vehicle that you are using, the fee might change. So, for example, taxi drivers are paying 12 cedis a quarter.
Yeah.
Right. So, but that 12 cedis you are paying is not the income of the driver.
Right.
It's the vehicle that is the type of vehicle that you are using. That's how we are charging you.
Okay.
So, for the individual, at the end of the year, we will aggregate and then.
Our time is up. So, but Princess, a trader in Makola says, I like that GRA is doing more education, but some of us don't understand tax language. Will they be doing these sensitizations in our local languages at the markets?
Yes. So as part of the aggressive sustained taxpayer awareness campaign that we are driving, it will be done in various languages. So from Ghana, Tree, you can Hausa. The GRA is going to go national.
Yes.
So the campaign will be driven by all the officers across the country.
All right.
And then in the various dialects that we have, that information will be dispersed accordingly. So it is very, very key in our communication strategy.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mr. Opoku-Efri Asante, Principal Revenue Officer and Technical Lead, Modified Taxation, Ghana Regional Authority, and indeed Mr. Victor Akogo, Chief Revenue Officer, Domestic Tax Revenue Division, Ghana Regional Authority. These are the two gentlemen we've been having a discussion with tonight. We've been looking at the Ghana Regional Authority's Sustained Tax Education and Modified Taxation Scheme, which was rolled out last week. It says it's going to simplify tax payment in our country and rope in a lot more people. The target is to rope in some 2 million taxpayers in 3 years. And so we thank the gentlemen for coming. Thank you for obliging us.
Thank you very much. And
we believe that that's when we call you, you'd always oblige us. We'd like to say a big thanks to our sponsors, Ghana Regional Authority, Guel PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, MPS, and the Phoenix Insurance. Remember, the show is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA. We invite you to watch the abridged version of our report on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. on Ghana Television. And God willing, next week we shall bounce back with another wonderful edition of your favorite Eye on Port. My name is Kennedy Mona. I wish you a super week ahead. And we say, please keep watching the rest of our programs here on Metro TV. God willing, we shall meet again. Good evening. God bless.